Right then guys, how's it going, and welcome back to your football predictions, the series where you guys go up against me to see who can get the most correct predictions from the upcoming weekend of Premier League football. Now those were my predictions from game week 2. It was a good week. The start of the Premier League is always good because there's goals galore at the start. Just while everyone's settling in, there's so many goals at the moment. So I said I wanted to start doing a little bit better this year than I did in previous years, and I'm off to a good start because I got 2 correct scores. I was right that Leeds would draw with Everton 2-2, and I was right that Chelsea would beat Arsenal 2-0. That was actually the most popular score to get right. A lot of people got that right, and there was about 10 to 15 people who also got 2 correct scores, but this week's winners, 2 people got 3 correct scores, and they were Pills and Solomon. So well done to both of you. I have put both of their YouTube links down in the description. I'm not sure if they do videos, but be sure to check them out. And remember, if you want to be shouted out in my next predictions video next week, be sure to get your predictions down in the comments below for this weekend's games, game week 3 of the Premier League. As always, I will go through all of your predictions and shout out the winner in next week's video. But as always, we will go through all of those games now. Just to mention, we do have cup football on tonight and tomorrow night, Tuesday and Wednesday night. Now, I haven't seen it yet, so this may change what you think the scores might be at the weekend. So I'm going in a little bit blind, but we're going to go for it anyway. So to start off, Saturday 12:30 on BT Sport, we have got Manchester City taking on Arsenal. City not with the start they wanted, exactly losing against Spurs in the first game, but, and I saw someone put this in the comments, they were out for blood against Norwich after the loss against Spurs, winning 5-0. Actually, a couple of people were right with that scoreline as well, so a big win for them, now going in against an Arsenal side who, as you can see on screen, have not quite had the start they wanted. 2 losses in 2, starting off with the loss against Brentford, the promoted side, and then taking on London derby rivals Chelsea, who by all means looked pretty good, but again, another 2-0 loss for Arsenal, and unfortunately for me, I think it could well be the same again. I have gone 2-0 Manchester City in that one. Moving on to the 3 o'clock kickoffs. To start things off, we've got Aston Villa taking on Brentford. Villa, they lost their first game of the season against a promoted club as well, losing against Watford. Danny Ings, however, did get his debut goal there, and he scored again at the weekend against Newcastle with a fantastic overhead kick. Even as a Newcastle fan, I had to applaud that one. He definitely shouldn't have been given as much room in the box as he had, but what a fantastic goal for him. Taking on Brentford, again, promoted side, got a wonder start against Arsenal with that 2-0 win, and then drawn 0-0 against Crystal Palace, which again, for a promoted side, I would say is decent results. So I would say Brentford with 2 results they'll be pretty happy with. Aston Villa, not the start they wanted, but a good comeback win against Newcastle. I think this could be pretty close, maybe a goal either way, and I've nudged it to Aston Villa. Yes, they didn't quite have the start they wanted, but I think they've got a good team there. I think they could do well this season, especially with Danny Ings up front. So 1-0 to Aston Villa. Moving on to Brighton versus Everton again at 3 o'clock. Brighton, now they have definitely had the start they wanted. 2 wins from 2, starting off with a win against Burnley and then a win against Watford. Everton with another good start against Southampton and then drawing 2-2 against Leeds. I actually had a result for this one and then changed it, and I'm not sure I've done the right thing, but I'm going to stick with it. I have gone Everton 2-1. As I say, Brighton have won back-to-back games, and now I've said they're going to lose. So I'm a little bit unsure, but I'm just going to leave it there for now. Moving on to Newcastle versus Southampton, again at 3 o'clock. Newcastle have definitely not had the start they wanted, losing against West Ham in the first game conceding 3 goals in 15 minutes in the second half after being 1-0, 2-1 up at half time, and then a 2-0 loss against Aston Villa, which, to be honest, Newcastle were pretty bad, but VAR did not want Newcastle to win that game. So that was not an easy pill to swallow. Taking on Southampton, who, again, have not had the easiest starts to the season, taking on Everton to start with. Originally 1-0 up thanks to a goal from Adam Armstrong, but then losing. But then a very good result at the weekend, 1-1 draw against Manchester United. And I tell you what, Adam Armstrong had the chance to win it for them as well. A left-footed shot, a little bit rushed, and a good save from De Gea, but they could have easily got 3 points from that game on a different day. I've got 1-1. Newcastle have to get good at some point, don't they? I hope. We're at home. Wilson likes to score at home. Southampton, on the other hand, again, Adam Armstrong is ex-Newcastle United striker. I think if they get a goal, it'll probably be him. And he definitely wants to come back and haunt us. So, again, it's another one of those. I think it could nudge either way. So I've just gone down the middle and put 1-1. Next up on the Saturday, again at 3 o'clock, Norwich taking on Leicester. Again, Norwich, another team who have not had the start they wanted. And I tell you what, they do not have an easy run in at the start of this Premier League season. Taking on Liverpool first game and lost. Taking on Man City, lost 5-0. Now taking on Leicester. The only bit of hope Norwich might have here is that Leicester did get the start of the season they wanted with a win, but last night, losing 4-1 against West Ham. I didn't see that one coming. And in fairness, I didn't watch the game, but they did have Perez sent off pretty early in the game, so being 10 men for a lot of the game isn't going to help. And I did watch the highlights. I have seen the goals. Antonio doing his bit once again. I tell you what, when that guy's fit, he scores goals. Soyuncu for Leicester. I mean, again, I'm only looking at the highlights. He might have had a great game, but the parts that I saw looked like he had a nightmare. So, can Norwich get their first win of the season against Leicester, or Leicester going to bounce back from that 4-1 defeat and pick up a win? I think I've got to go with that one. I've gone 2-0 Leicester, as I say. Best of luck to Norwich if they can capitalise on maybe a slightly down Leicester side, but similar to what Man City did after losing to Spurs, I think Leicester may well do against Norwich. And the final 3 o'clock kickoff on the Saturday, we have West Ham taking on Crystal Palace. I've already spoken about West Ham. What a win for them last night. Fantastic start to the season for them. 2 games played, 2 games won. 4 goals in both games. They've scored 8 goals now in 2 games. I mean, wow. Taking on Crystal Palace, who lost to Chelsea in their opening game, which is always going to be a tough one, and then drawn with Brentford in the second. I mean, as I say, I think a good result for Brentford because they're just coming up. It's probably a team who, Crystal Palace, relegation battle this season, I think they always are a little bit away from it come the end of the season, but new manager Vieira is going to want to get his first win of the season if possible. But after what we've seen from West Ham, I don't know why I haven't guessed 4-1 again, or 4-2, because that's their scoreline. I've gone 1-0 West Ham. In hindsight, I think I could have probably bulked that one up a bit, but we'll stick with it. 5:30 on the Saturday. This one's on Sky. We have got Liverpool taking on Chelsea. So, I've spoken about good starts, bad starts. Great start for both of these teams. Liverpool beating Norwich and beating Burnley. Again, good performances in both. It looks like they will have Robertson, the left back in time for this Chelsea game. Jota has been the man starting through the middle for Liverpool, who has looked great, which I'm happy about because he's in my fantasy team. Chelsea obviously played their first game of the season without Lukaku. They didn't need him, but I tell you what, second game in against Arsenal, Lukaku looked amazing. A full striker's performance, man of the match. And now the question is, can he do it against Liverpool? I think Lukaku will have a tougher job up against Van Dijk, but I would definitely not rule him out getting a goal or two in this one. So, which way is your prediction going to go for this one? I'm hoping for goals. I think we all are. And I'm not going to say I'm sitting on the fence because I honestly think it could be pretty close. But I've gone 2-2. We want goals. That's the main thing. So that's what I've voted for here. Moving on to Sunday now. There's 2 games on at 2 o'clock. The first one is on Sky and it's Burnley taking on Leeds. So Burnley, another team who haven't had a great start. Lost their first game against Brighton, which I think they'll be disappointed in, knowing that both of those teams could are predicted to probably be near the lower end of the table at the end of the season, and then having to come in against Liverpool is not a great way to try and fix that, losing 2-0. Taking on Leeds, who by all means have had a very exciting start to the season, losing 5-1 against Manchester United in the first game, and then a 2-2 draw against Everton in the second. Can we see another fireworks display of goals in this one? I'm going to say yes, but does Burnley have the capabilities that Manchester United and Everton to score goals? I would say no. So I've given Leeds 2, but I've given Burnley 0. I think Leeds will definitely get forward. Will Burnley have the ability to score a few themselves? Maybe. I'm not sure, but I'm going to give it to Leeds. Again, at 2 o'clock, this one doesn't appear to be on TV. We have got Tottenham taking on Watford. Spurs have had a great start of the season, taking on Manchester City in the first game where everyone, pretty much, including myself, expected them to lose. Went and won 1-0. Then played Wolves at the weekend and won 1-0. So again, not high score lines, but it's the games, it's the points that matter, and they've got 6 of them so far. Taking on Watford, who again had a great start of their season, beating Aston Villa in the first game, a game I would have probably predicted them to lose. And then went and lost against Brighton in their second game, which again, I would have thought would have been a bit closer after seeing how well it did in the Aston Villa game. In terms of the scoreline, Spurs are on a win streak and I think they'll continue it. I have gone with another 1-0 win to Spurs this weekend. And then to finish things off on the Sunday at 4:30 on Sky, we have got Wolves taking on Manchester United. So Wolves, as I mentioned, lost against Spurs in their first game. From what I've seen from them so far, they've been playing alright. The results just haven't followed the performance. And then Manchester United again, they'll beat Leeds by a good few goals in the first game before drawing 1-1 with Southampton. And I mentioned that Southampton could have picked up a win on another day. It was pretty much the same for Manchester United. I think they had the chances. They could have definitely scored more, but just weren't able to. So, I think it could be quite a hard-fought game, but I think the quality in the front end of the pitch goes to Manchester United. So, I've gone for a 3-1 win to them. And those are all of my predictions for all of the Premier League games this weekend. Be sure to get your predictions for all of those games down in the comments below. As always, I will go through them all before the first game kicks off on Saturday at 12:30. So I'm recording this on the Tuesday. You've got Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday morning to get your predictions in before I make a note of all of your scores. And then, as I say, I will shout out the winner who got the most correct scores in my video next week. But as always, guys, I hope you have enjoyed the video. I know a lot of you guys still watch this video but are not subscribed. So if you're still here after watching for the last 15 minutes and you are not subscribed yet, please hit that button and drop a like, because it does make a big difference. And I look forward to seeing you guys watching again next week. Get your predictions down below. Enjoy the week. Enjoy the football. And I'll catch you later.